Good morning. It's March 22nd, and today we're going to do a discussion on sinkhole properties, sinkhole laws, and here we go. How does the county keep track of where sinkholes are, and how do we see that data? What are the sinkhole disclosure rules? Is it a sinkhole or is it settlement? Is it a settlement event or is it an insurance event? These are some of the questions we're going to attempt to discuss. There are a number of laws regarding sinkhole disclosure that require sellers to disclose sinkhole activity on their property and on the properties that are contiguous to their property. The biggest thing you must realize is that sinkholes are a normal phenomenon, and you are required to disclose them, and you're required to disclose the properties contiguous to the subject property, which means, and this is a crazy one on the seller's property disclosure, you're required to disclose what you potentially do not know, meaning that if it does have sinkhole activity in a property next to your property, you're required to disclose it even if you don't know it's there. And that's a good reason for hiring a professional to make sure that you follow the rules and the laws. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss the definitions of sinkholes and settlement. Sinkhole homes are affected by sudden collapse in the ground surface, typically caused by dissolution of soluble bedrock. Groundwater erosion, human activity such as mining or drilling can trigger sinkhole formation. The characteristics of a sinkhole are sudden onset, immediate and severe structural damage. Signs of sinkhole activity can include sudden cracks in walls or floors, tilting or shifting of the structure, depressions in the ground, windows that won't close, sliding doors that don't open. Sinkholes pose significant risks to occupants and property. Repairs can be extensive and costly. Settlement homes are properties affected by gradual settling or subsidence of the ground beneath. They can be the result of soil consolidation, poor compaction during construction, and changes in moisture content. Gradual settlement issues happen over time and can be seen in cracks in the walls, uneven surfaces, misaligned doors or windows, and these signs can be more apparent as homes age. Settlement homes may require foundation repair or reinforcement. While repairs can be necessary, the damage is typically less severe and occurs over a longer period of time than sinkholes. Sinkhole homes experience sudden and often catastrophic collapse, while settlement homes exhibit gradual issues over time. Sinkholes result from geological processes, while settlement is typically related to soil composition or construction factors. Signs of sinkhole activity include sudden damage, whereas settlement happens over time. Understanding the difference between sinkhole and settlement is crucial for homeowners to recognize and recognizing the implications of each. Here's the challenge. If you pull a permit for a sinkhole, your home will immediately be classified as a sinkhole activity unknown. The term sinkhole activity is seemingly used interchangeably for settlement. What is a sinkhole? And we discussed that. How is one home a sinkhole and the home next door is not? And what is the implications of the values of your home if there is a sinkhole activity? So let's go and look at what sinkholes look like on the property appraiser. And I've been researching this. I pulled up the wrong screen here, but this is the Department of Environmental Protection for the state of Florida, Florida DEP. You can go here to access information on sinkholes and subsidence and all kinds of questions. And the Address is floridadep.gov, and I invite you to visit that site for your further investigation of sinkholes. Sinkholes are because of the ground collapsing. And the ground is made up of a variety of substances, and a lot of the ground in Florida is made up of limestone. You can actually drill a well and get water. And the reason you can is because there's an underground aquifer. There's a river that goes under the ground that you can access for the purpose of getting water. You must realize, though, because there is water below the land, it means there are voids in the land. The land is not solid. I've seen reports where geotechnical engineers have said the ground is more like Swiss cheese with voids and holes and water and underground rivers. And here I've Googled Pasco County diving maps because we have extensive diving opportunities, underground cave diving, actually across the United States or wherever there's limestone. And certainly Florida has extensive underground aquifers. Bing took over one of my questions regarding sinkhole activity. I was just searching sinkhole map, and it came up with this interesting fact that in Hudson, Florida, there's a coastal cave system covering 733 acres of land and water, where there is both freshwater and saltwater tunnels that are actually springs where you can go scuba diving. Wayne's World is the 19th largest underground cave in the world and the 6th largest or longest in the United States. And this is in Hudson, Florida. And we're going to highlight Hudson, Florida in our discussion here. Here's another article, Department of Environmental Protection, aquifer studies. Aquifers are great because it gives us water, but it also means that there are caves below the land. We already discussed this. So what I really want to do now is take you to the Pasco County property appraiser and teach you how to do an investigation of settlement and sinkhole in Pasco County. This is the most wonderful appraiser site. If you look at all of these questions, you can search. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take a random property. We're going to go to, let's say, Hudson Avenue, since we highlighted Hudson, and use it as an example. Now, this is just a random property. We'll take any property here, and we come to this map. This is, like I said, just a wonderful, wonderful website. And this mapping system is just amazing. I'm going to come over here and highlight this area. Now, there's a lot of buttons up here at the top. This one is called Layers. We're going to go to the Layers list. We're going to click on the parcels, and we're going to come down here to Subsidence, Sinkhole, and click that button. Now we have to reduce the map, and what you see here are properties that the county has not flagged, but they're categorized or characterized as sinkhole activity. The yellow ones are homes that have been repaired. The pink ones are homes that are unknown, and generically we call them unrepaired, because if they were repaired, the county would change them to yellow as repaired. And then the green ones are where there is sinkhole activity, but there's no damage to the home. So let's talk about Beacon Woods, which is a great community, golf course community, tons of homes in this community, and tons of ponds in their golf course. And it's alleged, and I believe it to be true, that you can actually go down into a pond on this golf course and swim. It's about 100 feet down to the aquifer, and swim and come out in another pond. And it makes sense because it's an underground river. There's a cave system down here. The question is, are all these homes really sinkholes? And the answer is, the county says that there's sinkhole activity, and that is good enough to get them categorized as sinkholes. Going off topic just for a moment, everyone asks me, well, where is the sinkhole? Well, it's not exactly a sinkhole like you mean. Let's just look at a sinkhole report and read what it says. The distress to this residence consists of minor cracking, not structural, several potential causes, including contraction or expansion of material, poor construction, lack of maintenance, inadequate foundation embedment, uneven foundation support from shallow subsurface soils, and sinkhole activity. Now, you build on sand and you get settlement. I don't know, lots and lots of homes. Most of homes you caulk and paint every 10 or 15 years because their cracks appear in the walls. And does that mean it's a sinkhole? No, it means that there's settlement. Florida Statute 627 states that sinkhole activity means settlement or systemic weakening of the earth supporting such property only when such settlement or systemic weakening results from movement or rabbling of soil, sediment, or rock materials into subterranean voids created by the effect of water on limestone or similar rock formation. While there are several other potential causes or contributors to the distress of this residence, subsurface conditions are likely that sinkhole activity could be occurring. And it is our opinion that sinkhole activity is a cause of the damage to this residence within a reasonable professional probability. It is also our opinion that tests and analysis we performed were sufficient scope to identify sinkhole activity as a cause of the damage within a reasonable professional probability. What we see in report after report is statements from geotechnical engineers saying that this type of damage is consistent with sinkhole activity. Does it mean there's a sinkhole in the terms of the definition, which is sudden collapse? And the answer is, hell, I don't know what the answer is. All we know is that over the years, and let's jump back onto this sinkhole map, independent insurance agents have been able to use the fact that one property, for example, let's see here, one property had a claim, let's say, what's the earliest one here? 2007. So independent insurance agents were able to go down the street and knock on the doors and say, hey, I can get you a insurance check. You are in an area that's over caves and underground voids. And they were able to use the report from one house to go to the next house and say, oh, look, you have cracks on the side of your, stair step cracks. We can get you a check. And fact is, before 2012 or 13, I would remember people would have a party. We got a sinkhole claim. And they didn't say that. They say, we got a sinkhole, because it means they got a check. And a lot of these homes, they took the money and they didn't make any repairs. Now that, I don't know if it's sinkhole fraud, but we had sinkhole fraud, extensive sinkhole fraud, which is not happening anymore because they don't allow you to take the money. You either got to knock down the house or you have to make the repairs. I know some neighborhoods that are actually proud. Off of Ridge Road, there's certain high-end neighborhoods where virtually every home has had a repair, and they brag that they're better because they had a repair. But here's an interesting thought. This street here, all of these homes have had repairs, and all of these homes have had repairs. This one hasn't had the repair. They probably took the check and didn't do the repair. But what about this home? Let's face it, this home and that home and that home, these homes are all over the same geological characteristics. They're all over an underground aquifer where you can go cave diving. Now, how is it that that's a sinkhole house and that one's not? These are all sinkhole houses and that one's not. And the answer is, these have had an event where a geological engineer has made a report, and the report says settlement generally, I can't say they all say this, but every sinkhole report I have ever read says that the damage to the home is consistent with sinkhole activity. It also says it could be from erosion, it could be from soil compaction, it could be from poor soil preparation and manufacture. In fact, I have a personal experience in a subdivision that is, let's look at it right here. I won't name names, but let me tell you, this subdivision right here was built by taking the soil from around it and putting it in this area right here. These homes are all built, I don't know, 5-8 feet above the surrounding area. You can't see that this is substantially lower. Well, all of these homes were built on an area that was created by pulling dirt from the surrounding area. And all of these homes are on land that is not compacted. You could actually, I went out there with a sinkhole guy, Johnny Bazinski, Johnny B, very smart fella. And he had a very long, 3-foot long, it was shaped like a pencil. And he walked around and he would jam it into the ground. And one time he jammed it in, and this was like 3 feet long, not the pencil, but the tool he used. And it just went straight down and didn't hit anything. Now, these homes are all settlement homes. Now, certainly they're all over the aquifer. There are voids in the ground. And these homes are all classified as sinkhole homes. And let's look at one of them. Let's just look at one of them for the purpose of what we're looking for when we go to a parcel. We want to go to this spot right here. Look, subsidence activity, none reported. Well, that's interesting. Oh, this is a Pasco County property I randomly pulled up. Let's pull up another property that does have sinkhole activity. Let's go back to the map. This is going to be good for your education. We go to layers. We go to parcels. We come down here to subsidence sinkholes. We jump over to the map. We remove the layers. We zoom out. And here's a property. Let's grab this property. I want to show you what it looks like when you get to this stage. Here we go. Stabilization, remediation, completed. Subsidence activity. So this is what generically we would call a repaired sinkhole. And this occurred in 2019. Let's jump back to our presentation. If we answer these questions, if you pull a permit for investigation, your home immediately becomes an unknown sinkhole. Now, what happened? You pulled a permit because you had settlement activity, because you had cracks and you wanted to know, do I have a problem? Sinkholes and settlement seem to be used interchangeably. How is one home a sinkhole and the next home is not? What is the implication of value to your home? Let's talk about that. So in the olden days, before COVID, if you had a property that had no characterization of a sinkhole, it was worth, let's call it 100%. And if it was unrepaired property, in the olden days, it was worth 50% or so of retail value. And then we use 75 or 80% if it had a repair done. In today's market, it appears that there's no difference in valuation between a regular home and one that has had a repair. In fact, it's the people in the subdivision that I mentioned, without naming it, off of Ridge Road, they're all proud that they've all had repairs, and they all believe that it's better than one that's never had a repair. In today's market, with things the way they are, with such high demand for properties and such low availability of properties, the repaired homes and the regular homes seem to have the same valuation. The unrepaired homes certainly are at a discount, but interestingly, a lot of buyers of rental properties have used these valuations to buy rental property portfolios. Let's jump back onto the property appraiser site and do some more investigation and to what we can find on the property appraiser site. So we're going to come over here under Tools and Information, Subsidence Sinkhole Listings. Right now in Pasco County, there are 9,328 homes that have this designation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto it by name. And the reason is you're going to see that a lot of these homes are owned by the same people. These people use them as rental properties because they can get them at a low valuation, and you can end up getting a higher return on your money by buying homes that have had sinkhole activity. The challenge is insurance. The challenge is that some tenants may not want to live in a home that has a sinkhole characteristic. And this is a phenomenon that we deal with in real estate every day. And we are required to make these disclosures. And even if we don't know if a home is a settlement home next door, we are still required to disclose it. So anyway, long story, and I've worked on this for several weeks to try to get the most amount of information in the least amount of time. I don't think I've done a very good job on time, but I appreciate your watching, and I appreciate you watching my videos. And if you have any questions or comments or would like to reach out to me, if you're selling a home and you want to make sure you don't have a problem, if you weren't able to use my information, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to consult. Have a great day. Bye now.